So this is lesson 2.4 in trigonometry, solving right triangles. We're going to skip the first page and a half on significant digits. You learn that in physics and chemistry and physical science and various other places, and we're not going to hit on it in trigonometry. So we're going to start right with solving triangles. One of the things that's important when you're talking about solving triangles is, what does that mean? To solve a triangle means that you're going to find the measures of all three of the angles. And what we're doing now, we've already been given one is 90, so we don't have to worry about that. So the other two angles and the lengths of all three of the sides. So 2 angles and 3 sides when we're solving a right triangle. Alright, so example 1 says solving a right triangle given an angle and a side. So what they're going to do is they're going to give you different parts excuse me, of these triangles, and they're going to ask you to find the rest of it. So this particular one that we're looking at is this one right there, and they give you a right triangle, ABC. They tell you that A is 34 degrees 30 minutes, C is 12.7. So what we're trying to find then is this angle right here, this length, and that length. So we're trying to find 3 of the 5 pieces of this triangle. So one of the things that we know is that the sine of an angle, so in this case let's look at sine of A, that is going to be opposite over hypotenuse, which is A over C. So we know that to be true. Let's plug some numbers in there. So we're going to go sine of 34 degrees, 30 minutes, and we're saying that that equals A over, and C is 12.7. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your calculator and find the sine of 34 degrees, 30 minutes, and you will find out that that is 0.5664. I'm just going to go to 4 decimal places, so you just round up to 4 decimal places, and that equals A over 12.7. Alright, when you are looking for a variable, and it's in the numerator here, and we have a number here and a denominator, which happens a lot in trig, you just multiply these two numbers times each other. Because if you did the algebra, you're trying to get the A by itself, and it's divided by the 12.7, so in order to get rid of it, you multiply both sides by 12.7. So that's why I said just multiply the two together, because this times this goes away, and it just equals A. So whenever you're given, again, one number up here, a number in the denominator, and a variable up here, just multiply these two together and you're done. Okay, so you multiply 12.7 times 0.5664 and you get A, and they use this symbol, which means we're estimating 7 point something. I don't have a calculator with me, but you're going to get 7 point something for your answer, and that will be the length of A. So let me go ahead and find out what that is so that we can use it, because we're going to have to use it later on. So 12.7 times 0.5664, 7.193. Let's just go to 4 digits there. 7.1933 is our A value. In fact, let's just leave it at 19. Alright, so that is 7.19. Alright, so let's go ahead and get rid of as much of this as we can so that we can continue on with the rest of it. Alright, so let's just get rid of all of it. Go away. Alright, so this was 7.19. Alright, so now what we're going to do, well, yeah, I mean, you can find, gosh, really anything you want here as far as any order. But I do know that my C is 90. That's 34.3, or 34 degrees 30 minutes. And this angle is going to be the difference between that. So I can just take 180 minus 90 minus 34 degrees 30 minutes and get 55 degrees 30 minutes for that angle. Alright, so now what I found is this, and this. 1, 2, 3, 4 parts to this. I was given this, so that's 5. So the only thing I have left to find is the length of B. And there are really several ways of finding the length of B. I can take a, get my pointer here, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And I know my a is 7.19 plus, I'm looking for my b squared, 12.7 squared. So I can do it that way. Another way that I can do it is I'm looking for b, this length right there. That is an adjacent to angle A. So I can think of, all right, which trig functions use an adjacent? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. So these two use adjacent. Do I know the other one? Do I know the hypotenuse? Yes. Do I know the opposite? Yes. So I can use either one of those. Let's use cosine. So the cosine of A, that angle there, is the adjacent, B, which is what we're looking for, over 12.7. So the cosine of 34 degrees, 30 minutes, nice to have a calculator, equals B over 12.7. All right, so do I know what the cosine of 32 or 34 degrees 30 minutes is? I just plug it in my calculator, find out what it is, and then I go ahead and multiply whatever the cosine of 34 degrees 30 minutes is times 12.7 and multiply those, and that'll give me my length of B. So I could use Pythagorean up here and avoid using any trig, or I can use the trig. I could have used tangent and made the tangent of 34 degrees 30 minutes equal to the opposite, which is 7.19, over the adjacent. And, found the answer that way. So if I took the tangent of 34 degrees 30 minutes equals the opposite, which is 7.19, over the adjacent. Now what do I have? I find out what the tangent of that is, and I basically what I do on the other ones, if you remember, I'm sorry, it's late at night and I'm just having a hard time thinking. When I had a number down here and the variable up here, I would multiply this times this and be done. Okay? When the variable is on the bottom, instead of multiplying this times this, I switch the two. So this is actually B equals 7.19 over the tangent of 34 degrees 30 minutes. Okay? So when the variable is on the top, I multiply these two. When the variable is on the bottom, I switch those two. Okay? It's just a quick, easy way to do the algebra without actually doing the algebra. So it's nothing weird. All right, so that's it for 2.4a, and the next one will be 2.4b.